everyone. Welcome to Buns and Guns 30-minute class. I'm just going to sneak up a little closer to my screen here and adjust my camera view. There we go. All right. Yeah, we're ready to go now. Buns and Guns, 30 minutes. Hand weights, if you have them. You can do the class with no weights at all. We're going to do some low impact moves. We don't do much high impact, maybe some jacks, but you can take those down. So, as we take a few seconds before the class, you can just wiggle your hands, shake those legs and arms, wake up a little bit, take in a deep breath, and out. And as always, through all of these classes, no matter who's instructing, you take things at your own pace, move up or down to your level, increase, decrease the weights that you use. It's all up to you. We are just here as guides. So we're going to start to increase the intensity of our moves. We don't really have to get into the bouncing or the high jogs. We can stay entirely at low impact moves and just a march with one foot always in contact with the floor. Sometimes on our high impact moves we get to points where we are elevated and both feet are off the ground. So low impact, we're always going to have something touching the ground. What we're trying to do is just increase our heart rate, increase our breathing, have the blood circulating, warming up those muscles before we add some tension to them. Okay, so we can start to lift the knees higher. Just ensuring as you lift the knees higher, we're not bringing our chest down to make it feel like we're getting a little higher with those knees. We want to have the shoulders back, chest open, and have the legs and the core do the work. And those arms forward and back. We'll get into some rotation soon, but right now we just want a forward back motion. Deep breath again. Exhale. Up again. And bring it down. Keep marching if that's where you want to stay, or go to a bit of a jog. Those knees can still come forward. If you do take it to a jog, you might find your heart rate increases a bit more. Making sure that you can speak entirely through the class. So a sign of working at a level that's too high is if you can't speak. So keep that in mind. Good. Couple more. And let's bring it down into jacks. So we want full range with the arms. This is high intensity jacks. So even though we're going a little slower, the fact that we're taking both feet out at the same time, that gives us that little bit of elevation. If you don't like it, do one foot out at a time. So the low impact version. Feeling your shoulders warming up. If you're doing this high impact jack, make sure you land with soft knees. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Feet are close together. They don't have to be glued together. We're going into squats. Always remembering our warm-up, because we're not adding tons of intensity. We don't have weights. This is our time to practice form. Dig your heels in, push your hips back, keep your shoulders back, chest open. Now start to squeeze your glutes and inner thighs when you stand up. 4, 3, 2. Last one, good. We're going to bring hand to opposite knee. I'm not going to go into a high impact move on this one. We're just going to move the leg around a little bit. Notice again the shoulders stay back, core engaged, and bringing the knee up in front. Start to turn your foot. So maybe you feel a bit more now in the inner thigh. 4, 3, touch to the back. Still doing hand to opposite foot. Feeling the stretch now through the front of the leg as we squeeze down the back, glutes and hamstrings. 4, 3, 2, last one. Let's keep our feet wide and go into those squats again. So when we do this wide-legged squat, we want to check and make sure there's a line from our hips, our knees, and our toes. So keep each leg aligned, and then look down and make sure at your lowest point you can still see the toes. So your knees don't go over. And if you find you're doing that, either don't press down as far or take the legs into a wider stance. 4, squeeze up. Glutes, inner thighs, squeeze again. 2, last one, good. All right. I'm going with my heavier sized weights, 7 pounds, and we're going to start to do alternating lunges to the front. So try not to speed too quickly on this one. Get a secure placement of that front foot, and then dip down, making sure we don't press the knee past the toe. Switch legs, push back. Now we start to add bicep curls. Curl up. When we bring the hands down, pass slightly beyond your hips. What we don't want to do is shorten the move. So here's what we don't want is little biceps. We want full range. All the way up, all the way down. Good. Good. Check your foot placement, check the knees. 4, 3, 2, last one, bring it up. Wide-legged squat. Let's just get those legs first. Check our foot placement. Shoulders come back, chest open. Starting to lift, alternating arms up and down, up and down. When those legs start to push up, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the inner thighs. Lifting the arms only to shoulder height. Up, up. One more time. Good. Okay, keep those legs wide, but turn both feet. So now you're into a long stride. And we can go into a knee dip with as much or as little intensity as you want. Just making sure it's down and up, not forward and back. One arm lift. Same guidance here, shoulder height. We've got a little bit more room, time, to bring that hand again past our hip. Shoulder height, past the hip. Good. If you need to go to the lighter weight, please make the switch. 4, 3, 2, last one. Turning back to the front, wide squat, down and up, keep the shoulders back, chest open, and start your alternating lift again. So when I'm doing this, I find I can't bring those arms beyond my hips. No room. My legs are in the way. So that's why it's important when we go to the second move, we do that full range. When you reach the arm out, don't lock the elbow. Keep it slightly bent. 4, 3, squeeze the legs, 2, glutes, and 1. Turning, second side. Start that knee dip. You choose how low you go. Add the arm. Up, pass back beyond your hip. Back and up and back. lift and press. Probably feeling increased stretch in that back thigh. 2 and 1, our last set. I like this move. Both arms are working, both legs working, core engaged. 4, 3, 2, last one. Shake it out. We're going to have those feet standing, not glued together. Number 11 shape, just about a fist width apart. And we're going to hinge from the hips. As we do that, we keep the back flat, we engage the core, and we don't lock the knees. We row, we extend, and it's a deadlift up. Over, row, extend, deadlift. Over, row, extend, deadlift. Where do we want to focus? When we first bend over, core is engaged, back is flat, knees are soft. When we go into our row, right here, elbows up high. When we go back into the extend and the deadlift, again, don't lock the knees as you're standing, but really squeeze the legs. And we want to come up with shoulders back. Good, flat back, engage the core, squeeze. Over row, extend and squeeze up. Over row, squeeze. One more time. Good. Staying with the feet where they are. Going into squats. Before we add arms, focus on the legs. Are you sending the hips back, digging in your heels, slightly lifting your toes, keeping the chest up and open? If you lose your balance to the back, it's actually an indication you're doing it with the right focus. The focus is on behind you. Push back. And sometimes if we're just a little off balance, we might teeter a bit. Now add arms. Push up. Shoulders, bring it down. Shoulders, push up. Shoulders, bring it down. Every time you're standing here and here, it's about a super squeeze through the glutes, inner thighs. Good. Right here, squeeze. Right here, squeeze. Even a little pause. Little pause. Give us time to squeeze a little more. Good. And up. One more. Are you ready to put it all together? Over row. Deadlift. Squat push. Squat stand. Over row. Flat back. Deadlift. Squeeze. Squat push. Squat stand. Over row. Deadlift. Squat push. Squat stand. One more time. Over row. Flat back. Don't lock the knees. Squeeze it up. Squat push. Squat stand. Yes. I am going to switch weights. Grab a drink if you need one. Going into a long stance. And what I've done is doubled up my weights. If you've got multiple weights around you and you only need to hang on to one, you can grab a heavier one. That's okay if you're hanging on to 2 weights. Just make sure your grip is safe. I come down, I row. Down and row. Down and row. Options for the legs. I can roll onto my toes, then press the heel, back leg, getting a really big stretch in the calf. Or I can do a knee dip again. Couple more. 4. Get the elbow up high in the back. 1 more. Good. Step in, switch legs, switch the weights into the other hand, lean over, starting your 1 arm row.
Choose what you want to do with the back leg. Roll onto the ball of the foot, then press the heel, or it's a knee dip. Back leg. Notice the front knee doesn't go past the front toe. Good. 4, 3, 2, last one. Bring it up, step in, stay bent over, engage your core. Notice that engage the core doesn't mean suck your belly in so that you can't breathe. When I say engage the core, you should feel it all around the abdominal area, front, side, back. Bring your elbows up, start to press out behind you. Press, 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 press. Really feeling the back of the upper arm, the area between your shoulder and your elbow. Now, as you get tired, you might find that you change the position of your arms. And I ask that the move stays with the elbows high, and if you can no longer continue with weight in your hand, then do it without weights so that your form is still holding. 4, 3, elbows high, 2 more, 1 more. Good. Stand it up. Give the shoulders a shake if you need to. Start to touch back. One foot, then the other. Take your hand on the same side of your body so your leg goes back, your arm goes forward. Your palms are facing up. You're keeping your hand, with or without weights, about belly button height. Notice the shoulders. They don't move. We're going to start going down and up on this, and it's the legs, not the shoulders, that do it. So I still take my foot back, but now I'm moving side to side. And I'm squeezing that leg. And I want to make it even harder. I squeeze and lift the leg to the back. Still, very little motion in the shoulders. Core is engaged. Extend, extend. I'm talking about the arm, I'm talking about the leg. Squeeze the glute, squeeze the hamstring. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Good. Don't know about you. It's been a while since I've done this class. I did keep my activity level up, but not these specific moves. I might feel it. We're going to do a squat, squeeze back in together, squat, and transition over to the other side. So squat, squeeze in, squat, transition. Squat, squeeze in, squat, and transition over. Transition over. One regular, bring it back, then a transition. Out and in, then a transition. Squeeze the inner thighs. Now on the transition, weights down to the floor. Notice you paused a bit more. And you have to work harder to get started again. That's what I like, transition. Weights down, squeeze, transition, weights up. Squeeze back, now the transition, weights down. You have to lean a bit forward, but not too much. Transition, weights down. Enjoy the pause, squeeze in, pick them up. One more there and back. Transition over, weights down. Transition over, weights up. Perfect. Standing tall, tapping side to side. Start to push straight up. We got a little lean, not really big. We're trying to open the left side of the body. Start to bring in the right foot. Tap, then step in. Tap, then step in. Curl down when you step in. Curl down. Now turn it to a squat. Up, Squat as though you're going to put the weight on the ground, but you're not going to, not going that far. Now lift. It's a push up with the arm and the leg. Still not leaning. Trying to stay as upright as you can. 4, 3, squat. 2. Perfect. Using those under thigh muscles. We don't get them a lot. Tap it out. Right hand, start to push up. Start to push, open the right side of your body. This only lasts for a little bit. Pretty soon we're going to close the right side of the body. Tap and step in with your left foot. Tap the right, step the left. Curl down. When the left leg comes in, curl down. More of a squat. Now push out of the squat. Lift. So as I go through the different variations, don't feel like you have to do everything I'm doing. Stay where you're challenged, but still comfortable with the move. Up. Leg is to the side, not front or back. 2 more. Up. 1 more. Wow, good stuff. Tapping again. Left arm comes across your body. Turn. Now look at your right foot. Hip, knee, toe. Pointing to the right front corner of the room, wherever you are. Left shoulder turns along. Upper body turns. Good. When you bring the arm back, elbow stays, shoulder height. Now lean a bit more, as though there's a shelf just out of your reach. Feeling it more on the left side of the body. 2 and 1. Bring it down. When you're ready, back to a tap. Bring the right arm up. Start to push with control across the front of your body. Front corner of the room. For me now it's the left front corner. When I bring my arm back, elbow stays shoulder height. Now I'm going to lean a bit more. Lean into it. Make the core work. Knee, toe, hip, all aligned. We don't want any twisting around those joints. 4. Right side of the body. It's opening. 1 more. Wow, good work. Okay. Wide squat. Down and up. There we go. And are you ready to finish with some curls? In and out. In and out. If you're tired, you don't want to hang on to weights anymore, do the move with no weights in your hands. Trying to have, if you can imagine, a straight line, elbow to elbow, across your shoulders, which means that we pay attention and ensure that when we get tired, we don't end up down here. 4, squeeze the legs. 3, squeeze the legs. 2, and 1. Give it a rest if you need to. Legs start again, down and up. And let's bring those arms out. And we curl in and open. In and open. Again, trying not to let the arms drop. When we extend the arms, that's when it's the most challenging. Those weights are pulling down. Resist. 2 and 1. I'm going to give you a break. I'm not going to do the next one. All right. We're going to put both weights in one hand. We're going to put those feet on the ground. Squats. but it's the suitcase squat, so we are loaded on one side of our body and free on the other. And what we're trying to work against is the pull of the weights. So we don't want to do what I just did. We want to stay straight up, open chest. Shoulders aligned over our hips. Where are those hips going? Back behind us. Dig in your heels. 2 more. 1 more. Bring it up, shake it out. Switch weights to the other side. And when you're ready, down and up. So I always put the other hand out that's free. It's like a counterbalance. If I want to make it maybe more challenging, I can have the arm close to my body. 4, 3, squeeze those legs. 2, last one. Excellent. Put the weights down, and we're going to grab a quick drink. We're ready for a few last moves, a balance challenge, and then stretching. So ground one foot, the whole foot touches the floor. Try to connect feet by your toes and your heels and the inside and the outside of your foot. Just feel it all connect. Keep that knee soft on that leg, and now start to lift that one side. The challenge is to not touch the floor, but it's okay if you touch the floor. You can touch every time, you can touch every second time. We want to keep the shoulders back, engage the core to lift that knee up. Up, good. Now, more of a challenge is to start to move the body, and sometimes our eyes move with us. When your eyes move, that's more of a challenge to your balance. So you might want to say, hey, I'm going to move my shoulders, my core, but I'm gluing my eyes to the front of the room. Your choice. Squeeze. 1 more. Good. Shake it out so we feel that hip flexor work there, and it starts to get a little achy. So stop when you need to. Again, ground all of the area. Second side. Make sure that foot is connected. And we start to lift, touching as much, as little. And if you do that wobble like I just did, make sure that if you lock that standing leg, soften it again. Soft knee on that standing leg. If you'd like to add it, a little rotation adds more to the balance challenge. If your eyes are moving, that adds even more. Two more. 1 more. There we go. Inhale. Exhale. Shake it out. Shake those legs. Good. So my legs are telling me that I might have been really busy last week on vacation, but I didn't do exactly those things. So I can feel that different movement. So we're going to stretch out. Pretend your feet are on railway tracks, so slightly apart, but both pointing straight ahead. Train needs to go ahead, can't go in one direction or the other. Bend that front knee, lean forward, engage your core. Now, think about the back leg. The knee is soft. You press the heel of the back foot into the ground, and then you slowly start to press the knee, never going to fully straight. You just go in that direction. Always keep it slightly bent. But as you do go towards straight, you feel the stretch in the calf get more intense. Slowly come back with your shoulders. They're over your hips. Back foot onto the ball of your foot. Now press forward with your hips. Starting to feel a little stretch in the hip flexor and the quads. And you slowly sink down, and that will all get more intense. So you're going to choose how low you go in this stretch. Bring the arms up into cactus arms and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Breathe. Come on up, step in halfway. Hands on the back thigh, reverse your weight so you're pushing the hips back like we do in a squat. And let's pivot onto the heel of the front foot. Toe towards your nose. Front knee is soft. Don't lock it. Option here, you can reach out one arm, pretend you're pressing against a wall. Sorry, I'm dripping here. Bring it down, roll up. Shake it out. Ready to go second side. So let's remember that we need to switch our legs. What leg was forward on the first one? Make sure it's behind you now. Okay, so your feet are wide so that you're stable, and then separated front to back. Toes pointing forward, both feet. Soft knee, back leg, press the heel, stretch the calf. There is an option to extend one arm or both. We really need the core engaged when you do this one. And now bring your hands back, shoulders back, up onto the ball of your foot. Press forward. I can feel the stretch right here, but if I want more intensity, I lower down. And I definitely feel it more in the hip flexor and in the quad. I'm squeezing my glutes. I'm going to bring my hands together behind me, squeeze and open the chest. And bring it up, in halfway. Hands on the back thigh. Pivoting on the heel, pull the toes towards the nose. Don't lock that front knee. Bring it down and roll up. Let's do some deep breaths in. Grab the hands up here. Hold, pull forward. Look at the palms. So the inside of your hands, thumbs are pointing up. Pull away. Ease up on that stretch. Flip your hands. Push. This time lead with the heel of each palm. Thumbs down. And you'll get more of a stretch on the back of the arms. Bring it down. Stretching the triceps. So free hand is not pushing or pulling, it's supporting. So it's a different sensation. We want to stay within the level we're comfortable at for our stretch, but not let the body normally go into a super comfortable position where there's no stretch at all. And out. Switch. So again, I'm supporting my arm to stay here, not asking it to go further than I want, not letting it relax either. Just a slight resistance. And bring it out. Roll the shoulders back. Roll forward. And last, final stretch for our legs. Lean on something or continue to work on balance. Grab that foot behind you. Press your hips forward. Squeeze your buns. Try to keep your thighs close together. And maybe even take that stretching leg where you've got your foot slightly behind your standing leg. So as opposed to, I'm doing a stretch here, which I'm really not. If I move the knee back behind my standing leg, it's intensifying my stretch. There we go. It is sometimes hard to describe the sensations and the positions when you can't see it demonstrated in the class. So if I over-explain, that's why. So really squeeze those buns, push your hips forward, stretch down the front of your thigh. And let's bring it down. Deep breath. And let it go. And up. And shake it all out. And thanks for joining, and have a wonderful day. See ya. Drink water.